Good morning and welcome. Glad to have you here today for worship. Isaiah 42 verse 6 says, I am the Lord. I have called you for a righteous purpose, and I will hold you by your hand. Today, Jeff's message is finding hope in hopeless situations and how comforting it is to know that he has us by our hands when we walk through life's trials. Today's bulletins are in memory of Ron Greason Jr. by Ron and Trudy. Just wanted to remind you all of that. Keep them in your prayers. The festival is coming soon, second Saturday in November, if you haven't heard. There are plenty of things to do for everyone, ages and all, men and women, and there will be a sign-up sheet next Sunday with different places where we need folks to fill in and work, and you'll be thinking about times that will work for you and do sign up, if you will. And this afternoon from 2 to 4, we'll be celebrating Patsy's 80th birthday, and she must, I don't know, she's MIA right now. I thought she would be here this morning, but we're looking forward to seeing her in a bit. And this month, October, is Nationally Pastor Appreciation Month, and we have chosen October 16th to have a cover dish luncheon and to celebrate Pastor Jeff and his family. And also, if you feel led to do anything for him in between now and then, that is great too. This is our time that we'll share with the passing of the peace, and it's our time to pass the peace to each other. While we're passing the peace, Emily will be playing, and once that's over, we'll begin our worship service. Peace be with you. One thing that I failed to mention in our announcements was the car wash coming up this Saturday. Can you not hear me? Okay. The next Saturday is the Helping Hands Car Wash, and it is a free car wash from 9 to noon. So if you all would please come out and celebrate that. Come on up.
Now, I just want to say a few words about Crop Walk. As most of you probably know, we weren't able to have the Crop Walk due to the weather. But we had a lot of folks. We had, 13 people that volunteered to walk and actually collect money to support the hungry. And we've also had some people that would actually didn't sign up to walk, but also collected money for the hungry. But I wanted to thank everyone who actually was getting donations for the hungry. So hopefully next year we can have a crop walk, because we haven't had that in quite a few years because of COVID, as you know, and we were hoping to do it this year, but we didn't want to take the risk of anyone getting hurt. So thanks again, Brick Church, for all the donations. Oh, and there's one other thing. I wanted to mention that we have a posting on the bulletin board where the missions sends the money to, and Crop Walk happens to be on there for $1,000. But if you would look at that list, you'll see where our money goes, which actually is helping everyone in the community. Thank you.
Operation Christmas Child is one of the other missions that we support, and the shoebox packing party is coming up very quickly. It's scheduled for November 5th. So we have some shoppers that keep things at home until a certain time, and that time has come. If you've been holding them at home, please bring them in by the 16th so we can get that final count for the shoeboxes and what's needed for that final thing. I have a short video to share with you now about Operation Christmas Child.
There are people around the globe that are not exposed to the gospel. And that shoebox, I was a Christian before, but I know how impactful that was. I am one of millions around the globe that received the shoebox. My name is Sakusa Rokovasa Vakandewa Tambua Jr. I go by Zach, and I'm originally from the Fiji Islands. My childhood was different from what a typical kid would go through. There were no toys, no video games. We'll play with sticks and jackstones. Playing rugby, of course, there was no rugby ball. We'd use a Coca-Cola bottle. Sometimes it hit you in the face, but we'll just carry on. The day when I received my shoebox, my mom was volunteering to distribute the shoeboxes. She made me the last kid to receive a shoebox. So she said, you know, if we run out, sorry. But thank God I got my shoebox. I opened it. I don't know how to say. There was no word for me to say, because I don't have this. I don't have these toys. I don't have these school supplies that was coming out from the boxes. And in this shoebox was a yellow yo-yo. Jaw-dropping moment, of course. No more playing with rocks and sticks. I have a yo-yo and those cars. And one of the scripture that came to my mind is, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. We were all undeserving of the grace of God, but someone was full of grace, spent their resources, their money, their time. Somebody thought of me. God opened doors to my life and to my family. I moved to the United States. I'm called into children's ministry. I took our church van, went down to a store and buy shoe boxes. We packed 117 shoe boxes for my youth group and our church. I may not be face-to-face with someone around the globe, but with that shoe box, I'm evangelizing, multiplying, discipling someone to come to know Christ. Being part of the discipleship journey is very humbling. The Creator's Journey Discipleship Program is a program that Operation Christmas Child includes for those that wants to know more about Christ. This is where my heart is: evangelism, discipleship, and multiplication.
Many of you have given in many ways already, through whether it's buying toys or whatever, but if you would like to give and someone else do the shopping, we'll be happy to do that for you. The Operation Christmas Child is just an amazing way to, and the toys that mean so much to those children our kids take for granted. But a yo-yo was mentioned in several of the videos that I looked at in trying to decide what to share with you today. And just thought that it's really neat to see what matters so much. As we go into our offering time, I just wanted to share with you that sometimes the pastors ask for folks to share. And often when we're asked, we're quiet. And for whatever reason, we don't speak up. And I'm one of those. And last week, Jeff asked if you'd ever felt the peace of Christ. And many years ago, I was up in the middle of the night, as many of us do, worrying about something. that had happened years before that. And I finally said, God, I can't do this. I can't handle this. You've got to take it. And immediately, I felt a peace that I've never felt before or since. And I strongly urge you, when God gives you the opportunity to share what's happened in your life, what God's done for you, whether the good things and the bad things, if you're going through them, it is our job, our offering, or one of the ways that we can give God an offering, to share with others. God didn't take my sin away. I did it. I own it. But He forgave me. And He gave me the opportunity to forgive myself. We all come to church as imperfect people. We come to hear what the pastor says, God's instructions. And then our job is to take that lesson and learn from it and serve God. Sometimes that preacher's words aren't words we want to hear. Sometimes they step on our toes. And I had someone tell me many years ago that a preacher doesn't step on your toes. He's not doing the job you hired him to do. So, Jeff, I thank you for the times you do step on our toes. And again, I urge you to share.
Were actually hemmed in by mountains on either side, and there was nowhere they could go. They had no weapons with which to mount a defense. They may have had a few things, but nothing equivalent to this army of Egypt. They had been slaves for tens, if not hundreds of years, so they had no will to fight them. They could see no way out. They could see no solution to their problem. Hopeless is the best word I can think of to describe their situation. So how do they respond to these circumstances in which they find themselves? Well, we read in verse 10 that they cried out to the Lord. That's a good start, a good place to begin. But then His name is strangely absent from the words that follow.